Monday. Matt, another weekend and another trading day. Ready to fire up. Actually, I know you've been firing for a while here. I'm gonna request people retweet this here for a second, Matt.
Please retweet.
No sharing needed. We need no sharing. We need retweets. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing well.
Oh.
Obama's killing the brackets. He got 3 out of the 4 Final Four already.
Hey, I think I do too. I got to stop by our local sports emporium and see where I lay. And I got Houston winning it all on a couple of the pools. So I don't know. There's a shot there. I know you got Michigan. I got to tell you, Michigan's playing great, man. They're playing great they're playing great team basketball, and people. I got to tell you this. It shouldn't be surprising when, what is he, a fifth-year graduate student playing point guard? I mean, he's playing great.
Yeah, and he went to Columbia, so he's no dumb shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In fact, I feel like I'm a dumb shit, though, Matt, because I happen to have been in L.A. a while ago and could have got a lifeguard job. And when I saw this tweet, I thought, man, what a terrible path I've taken. Top paid LA lifeguards earned $392,000. And I wonder why LA's in trouble financially.
I mean, it's a hard job, Bob, putting on sunscreen and saving one person every season that, was probably from out of town and didn't realize how cold the Pacific was. That's really what it comes down to, because you go swimming in the Pacific and you need a bodysuit because it's freezing.
Until you get late into, honestly, it's like August, September before it warms up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Freezing your ass off. $392,000 though. I can't imagine, that's just awesome.
Imagine
what the civil service, by the way.
Imagine what the pension is.
That is fucking, I just, when I saw that, things that make you go, and we've had a whole weekend of them. Things that make you go, I saw this one shared by our friends at Barstool, man. A 42-year-old jockey was suspended for having 1,000 times the cocaine limit in his system. Him or the horse, is he giving the horse gummies? I mean, I don't even know what's going on here. 1,000 times the limit. Like what limit? Like can jockeys have a little bit of blow in their system and it's not against the law, but he had 1,000 times the limit. I mean, I don't know. Doping in sports for me, blow on top of a horse doesn't seem like a great way to go. I mean, I think
but think about it. You're 117 pounds dripping wet with your jockey wear on, right? So you've been starving all week. You need some type of energy to get on a freaking horse that's going to take you 30 miles an hour. I mean, and that, so you probably need 1,000 times just to finish the race, and then you can go to jump to 2,500 after the race.
I want to know who's talking about the limit. Like what that the headline reads like there's an okay limit, but he had 1,000 times the okay limit. Like, dude, you're way over your skis here. Anyway, let's move on. Things that make you go, Elon Musk this weekend, strongest argument against aliens. He shows a little graph of the resolution of cameras. Like right now, you could take a picture with your Apple iPhone and almost get the silhouette of the rings of Saturn. Yet we don't have any very good pictures of UFO. Yeah, I should have worn my UFO shirt. Real aliens for Trump. I brought it out, and it was a couple of real aliens sitting on a wall. I thought it was cute. I tried to sell. I've never sold any real aliens for Trump. Like there's fake aliens out there, but there's actually real aliens. Not so fast, says Elon Musk. And back to the Coke. Coke futures. I thought when I first read this, I thought they had finally listed it at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange because, believe me, on a Friday afternoon, there was a fast market in Coke futures in the break room. Anyway, China's most traded futures contract, thermal coal opened sharply higher, 5% up in a commodity is just a giant move, man. Coke futures up 5%. Coal futures up more than 4%. Iron ore futures up 2.3%. This just, I don't know. We have a continuing developing story about inflation coming down the pipeline. And when big ticket commodities like this have this type of price move, it cannot bode well for prices coming down the pipeline. My thought.
Bob, but Chinese industrial profits year to date were actually 179% versus the previous 4%. So I think that's what it's all about. That was also coming out of.
When I saw that, I thought somebody's not telling the truth. I don't know. That could be just me. I thought somebody was not telling the truth. All right, Matt, let's share though, and because the actual real important shit to talk about here before we talk price discovery is the continued. There we go, Matt. Can you see that?
I can. And I'm going to take
thoughts. We got an Elite Eight, and unbelievably, those Michigan Wolverines, they will just not go away.
Well, they are number one, but let me say this: that I do believe that Oregon State is. I've picked against Houston every game, so I'm going to continue, and I've lost every game. I'm going to pick.
It's been serving you well.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Oregon State because they're playing great. Baylor, that's an easy win over Arkansas. They shouldn't even be in the tournament. God, I think USC could give Gonzaga. I'm really looking forward to that game tomorrow. And I think USC could win. So I'm gonna go with the upset there with USC. And gosh, it's gonna be hard for me to take Michigan again after watching UCLA again. I've said we're gonna end up playing these guys, and sure enough, here we are playing them. So I think we're gonna stop their fun here, though. I'm hoping to stop UCLA's fun. Although they're fun to watch. You love the coach. I don't dislike him. And I like watching Bob Marley at point guard. He's super fun to watch because he looks just like Bob Marley's son. I mean, it's crazy how much he looks like.
The unbelievable thing was we spent a lot of time talking and now apparently out of our ass a Big Ten Final Four. And it's a fairly legit shot that you could have three Pac-10 teams in the Final Four. Who'd have thunk that?
Well, yeah, you have three in the Elite Eight, so you have 37.5% of the trades there are Pac-12. And the funny thing about it, the funny thing about it is, number 6 is the best we have. Number 6 is all we have.
It's unreal.
A number 16, and all those teams are making. They're all making it here, and they're all, on paper they were marginal, but they're all playing great, Bob. So that's all that matters.
All right, Matt. Another thing I wanted to let's talk a little price discovery as things are fairly choppy. And when I saw this tweet, you want to talk about thinking that they're going to continue to be so. ARC is amending prospectus language for its ETFs to specify risks of investing in SPACs. Remove limit on ADR warrants preferreds, remove limit on investing more than 30% of assets in a single firm. Can you imagine that? Why would you want to put, the oldest adage in trading is don't put all your eggs in one basket, a diversified portfolio over time.
Especially an ETF. I can't even believe an ETF would allow more than 5%. To me, that's shocking. So,
and again, remove limit on investing in 20% plus.
Well,
so they get to go all in on things.
I think it's basically they want to use leverage any way they can, and kind of like the situation over there with the Tiger Cub guy blowing out over the weekend. Of course, we all hear the story after the fact. It's the same type of thing. Like that guy was using the same type of like crazy derivatives, and Goldman had banned him before. They wouldn't even take his business because he's so like lunatic when it comes to margin. So when the broker won't even take and he used to work at Goldman, and now he's like they let him back in because they couldn't deny
Matt, fees,
the commissions and the dollars they were going to make. By the way, number 4. This is our 4th trip to the Elite Eight. since 2013, and that is the most in the NCAA. So this is no longer a joke.
I'm going to play basketball. Matt, let's talk price discovery. Bring up something that we can talk. Let's talk a chart.
Well, before we do that,
where do you want to go?
Before we hop into charts, I just want to talk about NFTs again. And a big one this weekend. Again, I have no idea how you're going to make money with these things, but since you love this pet rock stuff, Lindsay Lohan is launching her new single Lullaby as an NFT auction. Bob?
So the way I would read that is that whoever buys it gets the rights to the cash flow of the song forever.
As of press time, Sunday afternoon, you could have bought this for 25 grand. 25.
The question, here's the problem with this. The ecosystem is not fully built out yet for you to actually capitalize money on a blockchain website, in a blockchain ecosystem. They're getting close on a few of them. But I think that's a little bit early. And who wants to, are you going to get 50 cents a download for her song?
Well, maybe apparently you can go here to fansforever.io. You have 3 days, 8 hours, 41 minutes, and 32 seconds remaining. And it looks like somewhere around 500,000 tricks are for
500,000 Tron, though. That's about $3.58. Tron is it's hold on. Let me see if I could let me get you some real Matt, you're good with math. I'm terrible at math. But TRX US dollar.
I don't know if I have that one in here right now.
TRX Ether. I got everything except the dollar. In fact, I think I had it, except you rearranged my
I alphabetized your list.
Yeah, and somehow
and
now US dollar. Hold on a second. We're gonna get it.
Now Bob still doesn't know his alphabet, so it gets really hard. Because
TRX,
you find the T is usually at the bottom.
That Kraken. Hold on. It's trading for 6.5 cents.
Right. So again,
500,000, 6.5 cents. Matt, what is that?
30 grand.
30 grand.
Like they said, 23. It's gone up. It's gone up 25% since that article came out at press time. So here's Tron. Apparently the Lindsay Lohan news jammed this up last week. It must have leaked.
Hey, Rudy, shut the fuck up. We got a show going here.
Good Lord. Anyways, so let's hop right off that into crypto space, if you don't mind.
Where are we going to?
Crypto.
The cryptosphere. Yeah. Bitcoin, little shaking and moving over the weekend, and then Monday a little pump. Matt, the one thing that I'm noticing on these is just how poor the volume is.
It's horrible.
It's terrible. The volume's terrible. I mean, for me, they flirted with Upmo on the daily. They actually got above that level, which was 57,877. They traded above 58,000, but back off that 57,512 last. And we were talking about this before the show, because for me, a close backing up momentum, I kind of actually want to dabble from the long side. You are full on sell every rally here until they can make new highs. And that's the nuance of the two methodologies. Like the profile is saying, listen, man, you're getting into the high end of the profile. It's not a great place to be long. As a momentum trader, I'm like, I want to take a shot if it shows me some strength.
But as a momentum trader, don't you look at volume and go, there is no volume, so there's no momentum?
Well, there is a nuance there. Absolutely. When I look at the volume, I'm like, you know what? Maybe not so fast. And we talk about this all the time. Like the market's got to prove something to me, right? And so if I buy it at 50, let's say it closes in up momentum and around 59,000. If it takes out the highs, I think we were in agreement when I look at the long-term chart. This thing could run to 70, 75, maybe 80,000. It's got that kind of potential. So
if some nuts for candy,
I'm gonna argue your case for you. Why buy it at 59,000 when you could buy it at 63,000? And at 63, you're going to still get to the 80. Whereas if you buy it at 59 and it falls apart, Is that kind of your thinking? Like when it proves strength to me, I'll jump on board. But until then, I'd rather be a seller.
I'll just take you right here. I'll take you right here. There's nothing bullish about this chart. We've been spending about 3 weeks here in this zone, and again, it's the same zone we've been talking about, 50 to 60,000. So until you break out of this pocket up in here is telling me sell, 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 and we ran right to the top of this. That's where we stopped today, right at 58.7. And as I said to you, basically the move happened. The weird thing about crypto for me is I don't really even understand if it has an actual week open and a week close. Like I don't know when to mark that like you do. You say sometimes Sunday.
I just say, for as long as I've been looking at it, it's the Asian Open on Sunday night is the beginning of the week.
Okay, so that's 6. We'll call it 6 o'clock Pacific. You're saying is the start of the new week. Is what you're telling me.
Actually, it's more like 3 o'clock right now.
Well, yeah, but the technical market opens around 5 or 6 our time. So you're talking pre-market then, like anyways. Guess what? That's right here, Bob. That's like right at the high. So I guess again, like the rest of the market lately, you mark your high Monday for the rest of the week, and then we just go down the rest of the week. Because that's kind of all I see. Again, this is not. I can't overlook that it traded 50,000 on Thursday, and we just ran 20% to 58.9. So I can't overlook that. And to me, most of that happened by Saturday again at noon. So I kind of mark the end of the week is usually right. My new closing for the Bitcoin, because we don't really have an official open close, is what you're telling me. I'm going to mark it at 3 p.m. on Saturday. That's when I start trading the next week.
Is that the day, the Pacific Standard Time?
Pacific Standard, 3 p.m. Saturday is when we close.
Well, that's actually, week. I think 0 UTC, whatever the fuck UTC
right.
stands for.
So, under the, bridge, under the sea bridge. That's where Pelosi and Kamala live, under the sea bridge. So
all right, let me ask you this, a little nuance of this profile. If it spends a bunch more time building time and volume above that point of control, you would at least think it should go test the high of this bracket here at 60,000. Yes.
I mean, sure. I mean, if it comes back and tests 55.6, 56.6 again, yeah, sure. But I'm not going to buy it. I'll sell it to you.
Matt Devio, everyone. All hands forward on Bitcoin.
We just ran 20%. Why would I want to buy it here?
I agree with that.
What happened?
I agree with that. But
we're in solidly into the meat. We didn't even get above the secondary level, Bob. So I'm asking you. I'm just asking you for why. Why do I want to? Why? If I didn't,
I've said it forever. I'll tell you why. If we can close the day,
if I didn't love it at 50, why would I love it at 58, 59? Like why? No.
Momentum matters, Matt. To me, momentum matters.
Well, okay, momentum does matter. Momentum does matter, yet there is no momentum when it comes to this asset class.
You know what? You know what happens though? There's no momentum until there is momentum, and then you're late. And not only that, if you sell them here, you sell them at 60,000.
Bob, you should have bought them at 50, sold them at 59. The trade's over.
All right, yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah. Let's jump to another example of dying momentum, and that's gold. And we'll go from one pet rock to the next pet rock. Right? They're all rocks. Bitcoin, gold bugs, same shit. Every time we rally in gold, we sell off. I'm like a broken record. I'm so sick of talking about gold to the gold bugs when you can see very clearly we're not going anywhere. We're going to go test this low, and I think this time we're going to go lower. So stop talking about inflation. There's no relationship between gold and anything anymore. So just watch the price.
And I think that's an important factor that it seems to be broken, Matt.
But it has been my entire life of trading for 35 years. Like that's always been the argument. I'm like, I've never, ever seen it matter. It doesn't matter. First of all, inflation is not, we're in more danger of deflation than we are inflation. It's just not, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. So nothing. I mean, again, we're going back to the summer. We're going back to the high here in August that we saw of 2000. Again, if you love gold and you love the momentum buy at 2100, you should love the momentum buy at 1700.
That's not fair, fucker. That's not fair to say it like that, because once it broke the momentum, you're not in love with the momentum anymore. I mean, I see the fucking fifth grade logic of your thought process, that if you liked it there because it was a momentum story. It's not a momentum story anymore. In fact, it's a momentum to the downside now.
Right. Same thing with Bitcoin.
It's the yo.
There's no momentum. I made my point. Thank you.
Long-term profile. Holy fuck. I mean, Peter shifted my ass. That looks brutal.
It does look brutal.
First of all, how broken of a profile does that look? I
mean,
mean,
not only are there holes everywhere, but it shows you how easily price can be manipulated, and then when they're done manipulating, they're done playing with it. And it's kind of the same that I tout, I teased you like that because it's the same thing that's happening with Bitcoin. You made this run, and we're just kind of pissing on ourselves here in the wind. So
I disagree, because again, your momentum level, your momentum indicator just turned green. So there is something going on here, Matt.
But I don't trade that. So that you are misinterpreting my signal, but that's good. That's good that you can see the green.
I'm telling you right now, there's something going on. And how about we make a side bet then?
What's the bet?
The side bet is I'll take where are they now? 57,611. Is that last?
57.
I think the next $4,000.
57,590 on my chart. 57,590, 57,570, going down hard as we speak.
All right. Where do you think the next $4,000 is?
I don't care. It's not a bet, I think.
Come on, now, let's make a bet. I'll bet you the next 4,000 is up from here.
So you're saying a new high. I'm saying no new high. There you go. There's your 4,000.
Fine. Book it.
Okay.
Let's go to Penn Gaming, because they're going to need to start booking side bets here. What do we call proposition bets? They better get a nice prop bet.
They should offer, prop bets on.
Listen, me and you both know that prop bets are the way of the future. I mean, that was just the floor, left, right, and center, one prop bet after another.
Right.
Let's talk Penn Gaming, because if without a prop bet room,
we talked about it last week.
Something that's lost its momentum.
Yeah, we talked about it on Friday. You could sell the Friday again. We traded to the high again at 110, and it was right about when the show started. I said, sell it. It's going to go back to 100. Here we are again, 99. I mean, this is just a short-term week chart, very broken. Now we come out, we fractal all the way out to a multiple month, where again we take off. This is the low from the $2 or $3 range, whatever it was. Again, I still think about this. And this is your November low right here, which was the recent low here at $52 on the election night. So again, they had a three bagger, and Davey can't seem to sell his generational wealth at the 3-bag moment from an already 15, 16, 17 bag moment here. And now he thinks this is going to go to 400. And again, gambling is how many different places, think about it. Here's a good explanation I think Dave should think about. Does anybody care that there's an Indian casino opening somewhere? Every state has them now. So gambling is pervasive. It's everywhere, just like smokes, just like alcohol. You can buy it, drink it. You can gamble your ass off anywhere you want now, pretty much in this country. Where's the upside? I don't see the upside. I don't see one platform owning the world, and therefore you're just going to see consolidation coming in, and eventually maybe Penn gets bought by Caesars or MGM. Maybe that's the play, but not at these valuations. Nobody's going to pay that kind of money for them. So that's
because at the end of the day, Matt, it's a pretty basic business model, right? It's revenue bet.
Again, if you have the licenses, you can have somebody build an app and you're gambling tomorrow. It's not hard.
Right, and it's whatever the model is. Whatever is wagered, you get the rake, and that's the model. It's It's not more
It's a,
difficult than
it's a
that.
good business, but it's not one that you're going to take over the world. Like, where's the upside coming? Again, unless you're going to start putting prop bets on stocks and things like that, which is fraught with SEC stuff. So I don't know where they're going to come up with more, again, the gambler loses anyway. So again, what happens when the stimulus money is gone? All the play money is gone out of I think a lot of this, I think a lot of the pump is not going to ever come back for these guys. Like, you don't have
yeah. When you think about that, it's like, it's the only business model out there where it's common knowledge that you're guaranteed to lose.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to gaming.
Right.
They built a city in a desert because.
And if you're winning, Bob, they're not going to let you bet anymore. That's the way it works. And they can say, we don't want your money. We don't want to take your bet. So yeah, I mean, we're beating a horse to death here, but by all means, it's the same story. This isn't going anywhere, and the whole sector. And I had an alert on DraftKings this morning, and DraftKings is going down too, again. So don't think that it's not me picking on one or the other, but they're all going to go down. DraftKings traded to 74. It's looking like 50s in its target, definitely coming soon to a theater near you. And, here, what was that other little European company that John used to talk about, that PY Diddy, weird little symbol, PDYPY, right? This is another, the Flutter Entertainment. This is another
Flutter Entertainment, right? And it's not a porn site, which is, it's misnamed.
Right. So this one's got a market cap of 40 billion. So they're much bigger. These guys are much bigger. They're combined bigger than DraftKings and FanDuel. So if you want to own, this seems like the name, because these guys have been in the European gaming business for a long time. So
well, even look at that one. I mean, it's a terribly broken chart.
But this is my point. These things have gone bananas. And I think you can make an argument, and I probably could do some financial modeling on how much money has come into the gaming space, gambling, especially for kids my kids' age that are 19 to 22, and all of a sudden get these stimulus checks for $1,400. They're rich. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to drink. And they're going to game because they got nothing better to do. They're in college. They don't need money. So they're just going to piss away their $1,400 here. And when it's gone, they're done. The game is over. That's the way they learn that gambling doesn't pay off. That's the way they learn. It does, you only learn by doing it, Bob. So, these guys, so I really think that that's a factor in this, that the easy money that has been there for the gambling sites and it just happened to be at the right time, the right place, the right moment is done. So again, this stock went from $30. It was only a 4-bagger. So it went from 10 billion market cap to 40 billion. But again, DraftKings and Penn, what was Penn? I told you it was 15 million last week, 15 billion, excuse me. And DraftKings, I think, is right around the same size. I just want to confirm, because I don't have that one off the top of my head, what the market cap was, but they're bigger. So they're 24 billion market cap on DraftKings. All right. So these guys, again, maybe they're going to combine, and that's what happens. The consolidation will happen, and they may already be talking about it, but that's not going to give you like this 4-bagger. It's not going to happen. So the 4-bagger moves, like the one we just saw in from November to now, especially in Penn Gaming and all these stocks, it's over. It's done. I don't see that turning around tomorrow. I'm sorry. Again, basketball's over.
I agree with you, Matt. As much as I hate agreeing with you, I agree with you. All right, let's talk crude. Fuck you. No, not that kind of crude. Let's talk crude oil, as they they freed the ship, Matt. They freed the ship. And I just want to show the graphic here before you share. Let me show this. This is the Dan Ryan Expressway. It coming into Chicago. No, it's not. This is the world ship. Fuck you, from the one guy, right, that fell asleep and drove it into the bank. This is what he caused. We got a little bit of theme here on energy, as we saw in China. We talked earlier about and we don't trade coal futures or coke futures, but we do trade crude oil. And the first thing that jumped out to me, Matt, is the incredible number of giant vessels out there. and I don't know, please don't quote me on this, but I remember seeing a graphic about the amount of pollution your average cruise ship gives off on a 7-day voyage or something like that. And it was like the equivalent to 1 million cars.
Right.
So I don't know why the people that want to like stop climate change from happening, why isn't it an anti-globalist movement? Why
Well,
isn't it that everything should be made within 50 feet of your house, and we can stop all of these polluting ships, which seem to be doing, I don't know, when you work those numbers out, it seems staggering.
Well, Greenpeace used to love running the dinghy out up against the big freight trip, the freight ships. But I think probably a lot of people died on those dinghies bumping up against the size of these ships.
It's not a fair fight, man.
I'm just saying, like, they probably again, the only way they learned that they're not going to win that battle against a freight ship is to run their dinghy up against it a few times.
All right. So two things here. We got crude oil's not going away. Let's face that. But let's look at the chart because we just like to talk charts. And then the whole EV electric car movement, which I don't think is going away either. But for sure, there's some price discovery going on in the space.
We talked about this in the marketvitals.io last week, that 62 should containerize the container problem. And sure enough, you can see it ran right to 62 and has pulled back. And if we fractal out, Bob, you can see that pretty clearly. Ran to 62 again here overnight, 61.76, close enough for government work for me, and fell immediately down to 60. So that sold $2. You got another chance to sell it here, Bob. And pretty simply, as long as we don't close over 62, there's your trade. Keep banging against 62. Remember, the closing on oil is a couple hours earlier than the futures markets. Technically, they close around 11:15 here on the West Coast. Oil does. So, we got 2 hours till close. My bet is we probably won't close above here. But if we close above 62, you're wrong. But the bounce here, back here to 61 and change, sell it. It's a sell. And you wanted to talk, let's just talk about natural gas because that's affected obviously by a couple things, not so much on this side of the thing, although there are tons of natural gas LNG ships moving around in there too. So it is a factor, but the seasonality I don't think is, with winter kind of subsiding worldwide. But we have seen an increase recently. We talked about this. We wanted to be long natural gas. And that jumped, from the 240 level all the way up here to what did we hit, 269. But again, to me, this was your time probably to take profits on that long stab from the 240 up here. And you're coming into the real heavy part of the profile, Bob. So just wanted to throw that one out there. It gave you kind of the counter trend rally, but right now natural gas is really heavy to me. It's really, really heavy. I don't think you want to own it for more than a counter trend trade like that. And you can see it's just coming back into a zone probably where it's going to find and meet sellers again. So that's just one thing I would look at. You had mentioned some of the battery companies, Tesla, we'll go through some of the cars, Fisker, et cetera. But these things are, again, this is a multi-month chart that we're looking at, and Plug Power has really just gotten, we talked about it last week, but it went from $75. It's already cut in half, down to 31. I mean, these are just painful moves if you're involved. And
not only that, when you look at that now, it's a broken profile. It needs to fill in, and the point of control is still hell and gone from where the halving that you've given it. And
and everybody that was buying options on, I was reading some chat board. I think Carly Garner was talking about it, and everybody that was buying options in the fall, that game's over. Like, people don't realize you can't just buy options and watch stocks go up like we did at the last fall. That's not a normal world. That doesn't happen. And it was happening literally in every single sector, and people were getting full of themselves. And you saw it. You'd see these little sell-offs, and they're going, they'd go from 67 to 60. They're like, I got to load up. This thing's on sale. And I'm like, well, now it's back at 35. So how's that feeling? The point is, these fads come and go, and if you don't recognize when the ship has sailed, you need to, you got to check yourself, because this is not the same game. Tesla peaked back in January, again 900. It's coming back to Tesla's low that it just did on the first sell-off, which was right around 540. So I'd watch that level. It's not a bullish chart. And what I see here, and again, if factor out a little bit here, this is really heavy still. And I still see that 420 level coming back. It's funny how that was kind of the level it took off from, but I also think we're going to go back to that 420
Maybe
level.
we should hashtag that 420 on 420 Tesla.
Yeah, it's probably a good. I mean, that's about the time. I mean, it's 417, and by the way, that's not even a big number on this chart. But again, we're looking at just a little over a year here. You want to just see how ugly some of these charts are. This is where the trade is. I mean, this is where most of the trade happened in this stock over the last year. $47. This is dollar wise, right? This is shocking to me. Like, people don't see this stuff, but this is what it is. And so,
Matt, it reminds me of the first time, because I was involved in crypto in 17 and 18, and after they made that roll in 18, I just kept pounding that you got to understand where this thing came from and the potential in the chart. Like, don't kill the messenger when I tell you that the opposite momentum level is $7,000. I don't care that we're trading 17,000. That's where the level is. Right.
And Ballard Power, again, another battery name. I'll just throw out a few here that we can go through real quick. But again, you can see this thing it topped out way up here. They all top at the same period, and the money leaves at the same period. And this thing's been cut in half, 42 to 21 now. Had the bounce that you could have gotten, at least a little bit more money. Now that bounce is over. And we talked about this 3 weeks ago. You'll see a bounce off that initial sell that you want to sell into. And it gave you that chance. And now the exit stage left. Now you're gonna have to go find a new level on some of these stocks, I do believe. So
how about ATL, Matt?
Which one?
All-time lows. That's the new level.
Ultimately, Bob, you're right. That is where we're going. And we talked about ARC earlier, so let's bring that chart up real quick. The ETF that was changing its parameters on how they operate. Well, that's a warning sign. That's a real big warning sign. But the price has already been warning you for ages here. So again, I want to throw this up here just to kind of toss out that this is not, that's an act of desperation in my mind right now. What's going on at ARC? You're changing your covenant rules while you're
especially what they're changing them to. Like, let me put a bigger bet on a smaller number of things.
Right.
Like, if you're wrong, how is that logic? How is that logic?
And you know what what some of their biggest holdings are, Bob?
Bitcoin.
No, those names we just went through. Tesla.
Oh, okay.
Plug.
I didn't know, Matt. I did not know.
Yeah. So those are some of their, they're all in on the future of transportation and electric batteries. It's just like, when you see, and again, you feel bad because they mistake, their arrogance, is because everything's gone up one way for knowledge, and there's no knowledge. And not understanding that that this is a broken ass chart. I mean, this is broken, right? Horribly. And now we're going to come test the high that we set back here, which is right around the low. And then in the second pass, you can see as we're going to come back, we bounced right to the zone where you should sell it again, 125 to 130. Boom. Sell it back. It's back to 110, and you're going to ride it down.
All right, let's fractal that out so we can see a much longer term.
Well, that was a year plus.
That was the 89.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
But I can give you a daily chart here, and it's not pretty. I'm having like issues.
Technology issues.
Yeah, I'm having issues scaling this morning, so I apologize for that. So
ARC got real small.
Something got pushed on my charts over the weekend. My cat that I don't have walked across my keyboard. I don't know what else.
Anyway.
Must have been the wind outside, Bob. I don't know what to tell you.
Man, what a blowjob we had here. Holy shit.
But look at this, 160. And remember, this thing last May was trading at $30. So 5X on an ETF, a technology ETF. Folks, the reason why it was 5X is because they were doing shit that was levered to the max, and they want to do more leverage now as we go down. That's not going to pan out well. Right?
All right, Matt. I think that's all I got here for us. That's all she wrote. Please visit us at marketvitals.io, building a community of actionable intelligence. Well, I'm not sure how intelligent it is, but for sure we like action. And we like to have a dialogue, a conversation around risk and reward, with money, against money. And believe me, you don't need somebody else patting you on the back and telling you how great you are. You need that don't voice in your trading methodology, somebody to tell maybe a different story than the way you're looking at it. I know for me over the years, it's been incredibly helpful to have a network of trading friends. And on the floor, it was much easier than it is here, Matt, in the matrix. So please visit us at marketvitals.io to get that added layer of discipline from other points of view. So important in your trading. Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, even a guy that likes to fade momentum like me can learn something from momentum guys like you.
Well, for sure, just having that just another look, like, all right, well, what is the real potential? You know, back to Bitcoin, because we're going to roll the week, and we rolled the week, and we're going to roll the month, right? And this thing is so parabolic on the weekly and monthly. It borders on ridiculousness. But right now, just give you an idea, the collar on the weekly this week is coming in at 73,868. That's what the standard deviation momentum modeling is suggesting, that's where the exhaustion is in the model. $73,868. And you need to know this kind of stuff. But conversely, the momentum level is 55,340. Again, we have not been able to close out of up momentum. And the opposite momentum level is 36,812. I mean, think about that. Nearly, a 40% reduction in price just to go sniff out that low momentum level in Bitcoin. I mean, so the potentiality in this market is, it's for sure crazy. Let's just call it that. It's crazy. And if you're levered up trading this thing, you better know these levels, because these are the levels that the market likes to be attracted to. I've been watching it too long, and I can say this with confidence. The market loves to sniff out these levels. All right, Matt?
They do, indeed.
Matt, you have a great day, and I will see you later for some NCAA basketball.
Yeah, we got 2 games tonight. We got 2 games tomorrow. Final Four will start to show itself today. Pretty excited.
Right on, baby. All right, Matt, thank you so much.
Go Blue.